But first of all, when that win happened, buzzer sounds, 175 total wins. Overall, what went through your head?
Well, it was a great feeling, but actually at the time, I really wasn't thinking about that. We were thinking about the game, and that really wasn't a factor in the day. I don't spend time looking at wins, and you look more about the accomplishment from the kids and what happened on the field, and as far as just the length of time that went into that, you think about relationships with coaches and players and community members. That's been so special and being part of that.
Callaway High School opened up in 2005. You're the only head coach that they've ever known. It's very common for coaches to move on to either bigger opportunities, maybe the college level, but you stayed here at Callaway High School. What has made Callaway such a special place for you?
Well, it feels like home. I love getting up every morning. I love coming to work. I love the people that I work with. That's really special. I think to find a place that you can say those things, it might be rare. I don't know that everybody can say that, but there's so many good people. The kids work hard. There's been plenty of bumps in the roads. There's been plenty of adversities, just like everybody faces. But at the end of the day, I look forward to coming back the next.
You helped bring a state championship back to Callaway. At first state championship in football at the very least, but for you, how special was that time with that group to win it for a school that has, and a community that's poured so much into you and your team?
Well, it was very special. It's, we've put so much time and effort into reaching that level. And I got asked so many times, how does it feel to get over the hump? And what people were referring to is we've had a lot of really good teams, really good players, and we went to the Final Four a bunch of times. And but to win a state championship is very difficult. It's there's so many factors that go into winning and losing that can happen, and if you coach ball, the longer you coach ball, the more you see those factors, and so to win a state championship for not only for that team, but for previous coaches, for the community, for previous players that work so hard to establish a work ethic, that work so hard to build a tradition that when we go on the field, there's an expectation to win. There's an expectation for success, and so to finally get there and win it, a lot of things took place before we ever got to that game in 2020. But it was very special. Really proud for all the players that were there that day, and the coaches and families, and but I'm also all the individuals that contributed so much for many years prior to that state championship.
This is a place that has high expectations. People love their Callaway Cavalier football team, but for you, what motivates you to wake up every day and do it again and do it again? Because sometimes these days can be pretty long.
Well, I think it's the relationships with people. I think that football is the ultimate game to me. It's an ultimate game that prepares young men, myself, for life, and I have so much respect for the game, but the relationships that I build, that we build as a coaching staff with players, with coaches, with other communities, it's really special. And I just feel like that this game, if a young man will buy into and commit to those 4 years and that process of how we work and how we practice and then how we play, I think there's so many benefits for them down the road, as far as being a father, as far as being maybe a business owner, whatever they choose to do. I think that all that they've learned through this game, through being here at Callaway, will make them better down the road.
Building those relationships and molding men, is that more important than any win that you
It's a big deal. I love to see kids grow. I love to see the successes, and successes are measured differently. Some kids' success If it's Tank Bixby, he's playing in the NFL, and that's the ultimate goal for a lot of kids. But others' successes may be, running this business and succeeding with it, something that they've envisioned, they've had this goal, and for them to go through a program that demands and pushes you, I think to high limits, and there's great expectations. I think either end of those, whatever you're shooting for, I think it makes young men better. So is that a big part of it? Yes, I like seeing kids grow. I like seeing our coaches grow. Here, I've been very fortunate for a long time to be surrounded by a lot of great men, and they're guys that they're good ball, they're great ball coaches, obviously, but they're great people, and been very fortunate. My daddy always told me, surround yourself with good people, and then the families at home. My wife is. I've spent a lot of time. There's been so many hours. Not only me, but the guys that have coached along the way. There's so many hours here that are really away from your family, so there's a lot of special people at home that are supporting what we do, and I think that's a big factor as well.
If you could rewind the clock and talk to the Coach Wiggins who's about to coach his very first game and let him know that, what would you tell him about this journey to 175 wins and even more?
It's a balance. You have to have a balance, and it's a balance with so many things. Number one, there has to be a work ethic. You have to have a drive, and there has to be a toughness, and that's not only on your football team but on your staff. I think there has to be a toughness that you're willing to get your butt up every day and go to work, and the kids have got to see that. They got to see that I'm committed to them, that I'm going to be there for them in the good and bad. And the staff is. I think that so what would I say? The toughness, the balance, and when I say the balance, the coaches have families, and as a head coach, you have to balance. Hey, maybe we don't need to spend that extra hour. Maybe, hey, you need to go home, fellas. And so as I've gotten older, those are more things that I see that are essential as far as maintaining a staff, and that's a big deal, and then dealing with players. I feel like early on I was, as I've gotten older, I feel like I'm still tough, but I feel like that probably I might have been a little harder on kids earlier in my career, but and the older I get, I know that over a course of a season, over a course of a 4-year time with kids, you see commitment or not, and early on, I think that as a younger coach, you want stuff right now, and I think that building a successful football team, building a successful player, there's a commitment there that takes time, and I think that helping them understand that, I think that is a big part of successes too.
Is it still fun?
It's still fun. It's still fun. I get asked that. There's a heavy demand on a head football coach, but I enjoy it, and I enjoy the pressures of it. And I said earlier, I enjoy getting up every day. Hope to you want to come to work and make a difference with somebody.
Last question for you: the Callaway community, the fans, the families, the people who pack those stands every Friday night. They love supporting your team. They love supporting you. Do you have a message for them?
Well, I just, number one, I appreciate each week. I appreciate the commitment they have to our kids, and I appreciate, I get to talk to the kids, have a little devotion pretty regular on Fridays, and my prayer is always is we appreciate those individuals, those family members that got these guys here for so long, and that's a big deal. Somebody sacrificed a lot to you know, to get their son, to get their nephew, or whoever, get these young men here every day, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the families for sticking with us, you know, because it is a great demand. I mean, we're here a lot. You know, we're here. There's so much time that's involved, and it's pretty much year round. And so, you know, with our community, a lot of people has stood with us in tough times, in good times, and I really appreciate that support for this school and our football team.